Well, the case of baby Gammy has sparked new calls to reform surrogacy laws in this country. Sam Everingham, the president of Surrogacy Australia, joins us now from Sydney. Sam, thank you for your time this morning. Can you explain to us where we're at in terms of surrogacy laws? I think a lot of people find it very confusing, and also the law in terms of what you're trying to change now to make it less confusing, I guess.
Yeah, sure. Look, what we're trying to see is a number of changes to make surrogacy easier in Australia. We want to see legal recognition of parents who engage in surrogacy, who come back from overseas. At the moment they have no legal recognition in Australia as parents. We'd like to see it much easier to engage in surrogacy here at home by compensating surrogates at home here in Australia. If that doesn't occur, we'd like to see some funding for education of surrogacy at home. There's no funding right now for parents who are going overseas to educate them about the risks and to counsel them about what they need to think about.
All right, what's your standpoint
really
on the situation with Gammy's case? I mean, most parents just go, how could they not bring both children back? What is your viewpoint on all of that?
Look, exactly the same. We're really appalled by how this family could go ahead with surrogacy and leave one child behind. You know, for many of us who've spent years and years trying to create a family, that's something that none of us can understand. And it's really upsetting for us to see a family like that go ahead and have two babies and take one. It's beyond comprehension.
How do they actually do that? Can I get into some of the nitty-gritty here? How does one actually go to a foreign country, pick up one baby, and then bring them back to Australia? And how does the law allow them to do that?
Australian law allows them through a DNA testing process where the intending parents' DNA is matched with that of the babies, and as long as there's a match there to check they're biologically related, Australia will award citizenship, and on that basis they'll award an Australian passport for the child.
It's a grey area though, isn't it?
It is, I mean, citizenship-wise it's not. It's fairly tried and tested. But it's grey in terms of legal recognition back home. It's grey in terms of the laws in Thailand. Thailand has no laws around surrogacy right now. There's a crackdown occurring in Thailand on surrogacy at the moment in terms of who can and can't engage in surrogacy. That's worrying a lot of Australian parents.
So given that you want to try and relax some of the surrogacy laws to make it easier for Australian parents to have them here, what would you wait? If you're a parent out there and you want to try and have a child through this way, and Thailand doesn't have any laws, I mean, what's to stop people going and doing it?
Well, look, we don't want people rushing ahead into these arrangements. It's too important what you're doing with a child, how you're treating a surrogate. People need to think about this very carefully. They need to do a lot of research, engage with a reliable clinic. We've had no support in terms of funding in Australia for surrogacy from either the government or from the IVF sector. That needs to change. Okay, we need to have some more support for people.
You have put, sorry to interrupt, you have also put some changes to law, some recommendations to changes to the law before the federal government, in fact the Attorney General's Department, I believe. What changes are they, and what sort of response have you had?
Look, we've recommended some compensation be paid to surrogates in Australia to thank them for carrying. We've recommended education of Australian parents to be funded before they travel away or before they engage in Australia. We've had no response from the government to those submissions yet. That report was handed in at Christmas last year. The Attorney General's Department has sat on that report for 7 months now. It's just not good enough.
All right, it's a vexed issue, and it's a vexed debate in many ways as well. What would you like to, in a nutshell, what do you want to see happen as of tomorrow in relation to surrogacy, and I guess you've got to keep it pretty simple?
Look, we'd like to see the Australian government start to engage with Surrogacy Australia. They haven't been doing that. We'd like to see the Australian government engage with the Thai government to make it clear the status of Australians with current pregnancies in Thailand. All
right, very interesting to talk to you. Thank you for your time and best of luck with it.
Pleasure, Carl.
And keep that feedback coming in, a very hot button issue at the moment.